Okay, the second part of the timeline we're going to look at is this area that's down here towards the bottom of the frame, and it's kind of hard to notice, but you'll see that there's these three buttons, or actually four sets of buttons: the speaker, the two lines, the blue lines, the little mountains, and the bar graphs. And there's even this little triangle. Okay, let's investigate. All right, first let me show you that the speaker is for soloing and listening to tracks. Okay, when I turn on one of these and play it,
Just moving.
it solos that individual speaker, meaning it turns off that individual speaker. If I did those, both of them are turned off. I can also assign them to headphones if I want to, so that they'll come through the headphones jack. Again, if you're trying to isolate some kind of audio. Okay, next to those, I'll go ahead and turn that off. Next to that is something that's called the keyframe viewer. Okay, and essentially that's more an advanced tool for when you start to do individual properties and changes to these clips. You can see them there. This one is very helpful. This is the little mountain right here, as it shows you from the drop-down menu. It's the clip overlays button. Okay, when I click that, I get this little pink line, and that pink line actually shows me the volume level of the clip. Notice when I drag it up and down, okay, it changes decibels, dBs, right? So by using the pen tool, I can actually click and drag on that and change the volume levels of a clip as it's being viewed.
They're constantly moving.
I can also change the opacity of a clip, and that's how transparent a clip is, by playing with that black line above it. Watch, when I look at Bloomies over here and I use my pen tool again to drop the opacity down, notice how the clip becomes transparent now and I can see through it. Okay, we'll talk more about controlling opacity, but that line, this little button right here, toggles that switch on and off. Next to it is the little bar graph, and this, as it says there, is toggles the timeline track height. Alright, sometimes I'm working with clips like this and I want to be able to see the clip in a bigger representation. If I use the bar graph, notice how the clips are magnified. It's not that they've gotten longer, it's just that their representation of how they're viewed has gotten higher. The height has changed. I can also do this by option dragging in these columns that separate between the two tracks. Okay. Now the one next to that is the triangle, and this is what I mentioned. You'll notice here there are some options that I can get from that drop-down menu. One of them in particular that you'll use a lot is this one called Show Audio Waveforms. Let me select it and look what it does. See how now all the audio that's part of Rob's interview is visible? Where there's straight lines is where there are pauses in his speech. So by using my audio waveforms, I can see very easily where his speech is, where his words are, and where the pauses are. Take a look.
You see a couple just moving.
And you can see those pauses right in between. Okay? The last thing I'm going to show you is this magnification tool. Over here you'll notice that I can shrink and make larger clips just by dragging on this little arrow. A quick tip for that does that really quick is the shortcuts Shift Z. By doing that, it always shrinks down all of my clips to what I can see within the timeline. Alright, try those out.